afternoon. We welcome you to the Cox Softball Complex on the campus of Central Methodist University for today's doubleheader between Central Methodist and Benedictine. Quentin Norris here today. Central Methodist, they are 25-5, 9-1 in the conference. Benedictine 23-13, 8-2 in the conference. This past Wednesday, Central Methodist swept the doubleheader with Missouri Valley. Won the first game 8-0, then in 13-3. Also on that Wednesday, Benedictine swept the doubleheader with Peru State. First game 5-0, second game 5-4. Hitting-wise, leading the way is Alma Garcia, 370 hitters, 5 homers, 23 RBIs. For Central Methodist, that's Madison Roberts, a 465 hitter, 5 homers, 24 RBIs there. Pitching-wise, that's for Benedictine, that's Bailey Salvage, 9-7, 1.83 ERA, 22 walks and 33 strikeouts. For Central Methodist, it's Haley Cotter, 11-2, 1.89 ERA, 18 walks and 42 strikeouts as well. Upcoming events both on the Central Methodist and National Sports Team. Of course, the Cardinals are playing a doubleheader with the Boston Red Sox. It was 0-0, top of the first inning down at Fenway Park. Second game at 6 o'clock tonight there as well. Also going now at 18:50 to go in the second period, the Islanders lead the Washington Capitals 2-0. And, of course, if you may know, Friday, Alex Ovechkin scored a couple of goals, has now tied with Wayne Gretzky as the all-time goal scorer leader with 894 there as well. So there's a good possibility he may get it today. Well, hopefully we'll know more throughout today's broadcast as well. Of course, tomorrow the Cardinals, they'll take on the Pittsburgh Pirates at 5:30 p.m. as well. Kansas City Royals, they'll be taking on the Minnesota Twins at 6:30 p.m. as well. On to the softball team, they'll be taking on Culver Stockton. They'll be playing a doubleheader tomorrow, 1 and 3. Of course, that's a makeup game from Saturday's rain out down in Canton, Missouri. Tuesday, of course, the Cardinals play the Pirates at 5:30. Of course, an NHL game there. Toronto takes on Florida. And then you got the Kansas City Royals taking on Minnesota at 6:30 p.m. On Wednesday, the Cardinals conclude their series with Pittsburgh at 11:30 a.m. An NHL game on TNT. Of course, the Philadelphia Flyers take on the New York Rangers at 6:30 p.m. Rangers still in that hunt for that wild card spot there as well. Kansas City Royals take on Minnesota at 6:30 p.m. as well. Then on Thursday, the Royals take on the Minnesota Twins at 1 o'clock. On Friday, the Royals take on the Cleveland Guardians at 5 p.m. An NHL game on the NHL Network. The Pittsburgh Penguins take on the New Jersey Devils, 6 o'clock there as well. That should be a fun little matchup there as well. Of course, Devils are playing some good hockey there. Of course, coming off a 4-0 victory over the New York Rangers yesterday afternoon there as well. And, of course, the Cardinals will host the Philadelphia Phillies, 7:15 start time. On Saturday, this coming Saturday, the Washington Capitals take on the Columbus Blue Jackets. They're at 11:30 a.m. on ABC television. Hopefully by then, of course, Alex Ovechkin will become the all-time goal scorer leader. Baseball, they'll be taking on Missouri Valley. Doubleheader starts at 1 and 3. Softball, they'll take on William Penn at 1 and 3. Cardinals take on Philadelphia at 1:15 p.m. The New York Rangers take on Carolina at 2 o'clock. And then you have the Kansas City Royals take on the Cleveland Guardians at 5 o'clock there. Of course, in the standings there, Central Methodist on top, 9-1, 25-5. Grandview, 7-1, 18-10. Of course, Grandview comes to Central Methodist next Sunday's doubleheader. Benedictine, 8-2, 23-13. Park is 7-3, 19-9. Also tied for fourth. Baker, 7-3, 16-11. Both these teams will play on the 25th there as well, down in Baldwin City, Kansas. William Penn at 5-3, 21-11. Mount Mercy 5-5, 15-17. Graceland 3-3, 10-20. Mid-America Nazarene 4-6, 13-19. Peru State 2-6, 7-20. Clark 2-8, 8-14. Culver Stockton 1-9 and 7-27. And Missouri Valley 0-10 and 7-27 all together. Of course, they are going ahead and they gave you the starting lineups there for Benedictine. That's Alina Villa now in right field there. That's Chloe Strickland at shortstop. Ryan Martin is the catcher. Kaylin Fisher is the DP. That is Alma Garcia at second base. Renee Myers is third base. Riley Kennedy's in left. Megan Forsman is the first baseman. And out in center field, Ryan Cooper. And today's starting pitcher there is Lily Cy D. Hillon. And now we'll go ahead and let's turn it over. I think it's Gary Linhart doing the PA announcements. He announced the starting line for your Central Methodist Eagles. Okay, we got the starting lineups and the national anthem, and let's go ahead and set the defense for you there. Sponsored by the Exchange Bank of Missouri. That's Rachel Brandt in left field. And on center field there is Casey Jolly. In right field is Daly Garland. At third base it is Maddie Holly. At shortstop, Madison Roberts there as well. At second base, Sammy Pika. Elizabeth Palumbo is at first base. Behind the plate is Lauren Hill, and there's Veronica Deerluff. 6-1, 2.27 ERA, 3 walks, 32 strikeouts there. She is from a town of West Alexandria, Ohio, around the Dayton area, but not that far from Cleveland. And probably in down south is Cincinnati, home of the Cincinnati Reds there, of course. One of my claims to fame happened 40 years ago this September when Pete Rose became baseball's all-time hit king on a sharp single to left field against the San Diego Padres in his very first at-bat. I know the game starts at 1, but I think we're going to start a few minutes early, which that is fine by me. And we're about ready to get started. As Vin Scully used to say on NBC television, pull up a chair then and get ready to watch some of it. Or if he was on CBS, he'll be doing the Masters Golf Tournament from the clubhouse there. Alina Valina is their hitter. 297 hitters, 7 homers, 28 RBI. Deerluff getting the sign from Lauren Hill. And your first pitch is a foul ball. Strike one. Came at 12:56 p.m. Temperature about 46 degrees. The time and temperature sponsored by the parking spot. Easy to spot, easy to park. The parking spot at Kansas International Airport. 0-1 to count. Here comes your 0-1 pitch. And another foul ball. 0-2. There, cloudy, overcast, cooler air. We had some, of course, we had some rain and I think on Wednesday afternoon there. A little pop up there. That's Palumbo. Makes the catch for out number 1. And now coming to bat is Chloe Strickland. 241 hitter, 1 homer, 18 RBI. Kansas City, Missouri. First pitch to her. Slaps that one. Foul. Strike one there. 0-1 the count. That's one thing a good pitcher does. Get ahead of the counts early and often. If you do that, that makes things a lot smarter. Makes things easier on the defense there. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Slaps that one foul. 0-2 the count there. Just underway. Reminds you what the weather is like in Boston. 0-2 pitch. Slaps that one fouled. Just to increase the tension. 0-2 the count on Chloe Strickland. Veronica Deerluff getting the sign. And the 0-2. Another pop-up there. I think that's Roberts. She calls for it. Makes the catch for out number 2. And 2 quick outs now for Ryan Martin. A 283 hitter, 7 homers, 26 RBIs there. Ryan Martin's from Lincoln, Nebraska, home of the Nebraska Cornhuskers. First pitch. That is a ball. 1-0 to count. Kaylin Fisher's on deck. The Heart America Conference game of the day. Strike one there. 1-1 to count there. One and one to count. 1-1 pitch. Lines a shot in the center field, and it's gone. A home run for Ryan Martin. That's her 8th of the year. RBI number 27, and Benedictine leads it 1-0. Of course, Benedictine's their head coach is Paul Hunt. Central Methodist coach is Pat Reardon. So Veronica Deal needs to settle down, talk to the softball, point to the catcher, Lauren Hill. Kaylin Fisher, 353 hitter, 2 homers, and 19 RBIs from Ashland, Nebraska. And the first pitch. That is a ball, 1-0 now. Benedictine jumped ahead 1-0 on a home run by Rayanne Martin. That went over the center field wall there. Now the 1-0. It's a little chopper to the second baseman for the third out. So 1 run on just 1 hit. No errors and no one left on. We head to the bottom of the first inning. A 1-0 lead for Benedictine. And we'll go ahead and set the defense for you. Sponsored by Commercial Trust Bank there. Riley Kennedy's out in left field. Out in center field. That is Ryan Cooper at right field there. Alina Valina At third base, Renee Myers. Down at shortstop there is Chloe Strickland. At second base, Alma Garcia, first baseman. Megan Forsman. Catcher is Ryan Martin. And there you look at Lily C.V. Delon. 10-3, 1.90 ERA. 36 walks, 92 strikeouts there from St. Mary's, Kansas there. A left-hander has a good control. When you see her, she reminds me of Sandy Koufax. Has a windup like Sandy Koufax used to do. As Joey Kreider will be the first batter up there. A .427 hitter, 5 homers, 29 RBIs. From Eagle, Idaho. I know a lot of her family is listening in on the broadcast. Pat Reardon coaching at third base. That's Morgan Wilson at first base. Here's the first pitch to her. There's a strike call. 0-1 now. A good lefty-lefty matchup there. 0-1 to count. Here's the wind, the pitch. Swing and a miss on the little change up there. Got her on the change. No question about it. 0-2 the count here on Joey Kreider. 0-2 pitch. Little liner. At second base and knocks it down. Throw to first. Not in time. I have a feeling that's going to be an error there. Probably on the second baseman. That's pretty sure if that's on the second baseman. Here's Elizabeth Palumbo, 410 hitter, 9 homers, 37 RBIs from Sterling, Illinois. Kreider's on first on the error. Charge to the second baseman. First pitch. That's a bit high. 1-0 to count. Where's the number 23? Like another famous 23. Don Mattingly of the New York Yankees. 1-0 pitch to her. There's a strike. 1-1 now. 1 ball and 1 strike. On Elizabeth Palumbo. I'm sure her mom is here. That's her mom, Suzanne. 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss on the changeup there. Type of changeup that Sandy Koufax used to throw a lot of to the left-handers there back in the day. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The 1-2 pitch. That's outside of 2-2 now. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Whitten Norris here on an overcast Sunday afternoon. The 1st, April the 6th. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3 call. 1 out now for Madison Roberts. .465 hitter, 5 homers, 24 RBIs. She is from a town of Elkhart, Illinois, around the Chicago area. Of course, the Cubs are playing the San Diego Padres. Down at Wrigley Field. Rise the bunt. Outside, ball 1 there. One ball, no strikes. 1-0 pitch. There's 2-0 to count. I thought it was a strike, but it's ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes on Madison Roberts. That's Maddie Holly on deck. Yes, please. 2-0 pitch is a high pop up there. Shortstop is there for out number 2. Yeah, we can exchange that one there. Let me pick my coat off there because I could see better with a tall. There. 398 hitter, 1 homer, 23 RBIs there from Wilsonville, Oregon, around the Portland area. And that's a ball there. 1-0 to count there. 1-0 to count. 1-0 pitch. 2-0 to count. Two and 0 to count. 2-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. 2-1 now. Two balls and a strike on Matty Holly. 2-1 pitch. Outside, 3-1 now. Casey Jolly on deck. Three and 1 to count. 3-1 pitch. Takes it all the way. 3-2 now. 3-2 now on Matty Holly. Lefty matchup there. 3-2 pitch. Ball 4 now. So now first and second and 2 outs there for Casey Jolly. 340 hitter, 3 homers, 21 RBIs from Nampa, Idaho. Had a great visit with her before the pregame show. Out in the dugout area. First pitch to her. There's a strike call, 0-1 now. Oh and 1 to count. Lauren Hill on deck. First to 2 today. 0-1 now. That's high. 1-1 now. One ball, one strike. 1-1 to count. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Here it comes. Lines a shot, and the left fielder makes the catch for the third out. So no runs, no hits, 1 error, 2 left. We head to the top of the second inning. A 1-inning lead for Benedictine. Okay, you got Garcia. 1 run, 1 hit, and error for Benedictine. No runs, no hits, and no errors for Central Methodist. And coming to bat now is Alma Garcia. 370 hitter, 5 homers, 23 RBI. Team's leading hitter there from Sahuarita, Arizona. I believe around the Phoenix area. Or some of the areas where they always had spring training baseball. Dearla trying to keep it where it is. A 1-0 lead. First pitch. Ball 1 there. 1-0 to count. There we go. 1-0 to count. 1-0 to count. A swing and a miss. 1-1 now. There we go. One and 1 to count. Here it is. Fouls it off. 1-2 there. 1 ball, 2 strikes. One and 2 now. Outside, 2-2. 2-2 the count. 2-2 pitch. A line shot in the center field. Jolly is there to make the catch in front of the warning track. Tracks it down like Willie Mays used to do that a lot for the Giants, San Francisco and the New York Giants. Here's Renee Myers. 156 hitter, no homers, 2 RBIs from Lancaster, Kansas. First pitch. Ball 1 there. First time I remember here in Lancaster, Kansas, I remember several years ago there was a TV station in Kansas City. They used to have the Kansas Lottery. It used to come on 6:30 on Saturday evenings. The 1-0 pitch. There's a strike, 1-1 now. One ball, one strike. 1-1 pitch. Lines a shot down the third base side, and that's a foul ball. 1-2 the count. One-two pitch. Hits the ground ball to Holly. Throws over to Palumbo with a nice stretch. Oh, boy. What a play there. And there's 2 quick outs now for Riley Kennedy. 275 hitter, homer, and 12 RBIs. From Wichita, Kansas. First time I remember Wichita, Kansas was during the Pro Bowler Series. They used to have a bowling tournament on a Saturday afternoon in Wichita, Kansas. There's a strike call. Usually a guy named Earl Anthony used to dominate that tour there. I think he won that Wichita Open maybe 5 times there. Back in the 70s, 80s, usually Dick Weber. Son Pete was always in there. Norm Duke. 0-1. There's a strike. Marshall Holman. There were so many other good ones there. I remember Walter Ray Williams Jr. 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. A 1-2-3 inning goes Benedictine. We head to the bottom of the second inning. 1-0 lead for Benedictine on the Heart American Conference Game of the Week. One run, 1 hit, and an error for Benedictine. No runs, no hits, no errors for Central Methodist. As Lauren Hill is the batter. 371 here, 3 homers, 26 RBIs on the year. Hopefully sometime next year we'll kind of give you an update on that. Of course, in about 13 days, she'll be one of the seniors recognized on Senior Day against Peru State. 1-0 to count there. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 to count. The 1-0 pitch. I know her dad, Brian, is here. 2-0 to count. Of course, looking forward to maybe throwing out a pitch to Lauren Hill on Senior Day. And 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 pitch. 3-0 to count there. 3 balls and no strikes. 3-0 pitch. There's a strike. Top out ball 4. But the umpire says, sorry, strike 1. 3 balls and a strike. 3-1. Little line shot. It is over the right fielder. Look at Hill go for 2. And she's there with a leadoff double. And now here is Rachel Brandt. 378 hitter, no homers, 14 RBIs from Tegar, Oregon. Around the Portland area. Runner at second is Lauren Hill. And the first pitch to her tries the bunt. And that is a ball called. On deck is Sammy Pinka. The 1-0 pitch. There's a strike. 1-1 now. 1 ball, 1 strike. One ball, 1 strike. 1-1 pitch. 2-1 now. Pika on deck. Two-one pitch. 3-1 now. 3-1 getting the sign from the third base coach, Pat Reardon. Three and one to count. 3-1 pitch. Fouls it off. 3-2 now. Three and two now. 3-2 pitch. Ball 4. Now it's first and second, nobody out for Sammy Pika. 273 hitter, no homers, 6 RBIs from St. Peters, Missouri, around the St. Charles area. Hills at second on the double. Brandt drew a walk. First pitch tries the bunt. And that's a strike call. 0-1 now with Daly Garland on deck. And 1 to count. First and second. Now the 0-1. Lays down a beautiful bunt. Her only play is the first. There is out number 1, and everyone moves a bunt. So it's 3-4 on your scorecard there. And 1 out now for Daly Garland. 365, 2 homers, 27 RBIs from Woodridge, Illinois, around the Chicago area. Want to say hi to a friend down in Chicago? His name is Eddie Olchek. Eddie Olchek will probably be on the TNT broadcast Wednesday night when Philadelphia plays the New York Rangers. First pitch to him. There's a strike call. I always remember him back before TNT. He was on NBC with Mike Embrick, the Doc. Called him Doc because he was an expert in the National Hockey League. The 0-1 now. Chips that one foul, or boy, you could just hear it, barely hear it from the press box. Or as Joe Garagiola used to say on NBC television, that is called protecting the plate. 0-2 the count. 0-2 pitch. It's a little ground ball just past the first baseman. A tying run will score, and it's a tie game at 1. As Joe Garagiola used to say, ladies and gentlemen, that is putting the ball in play. So an RBI for Daly Garland gives her a total of 28. And Joey Kreider, who reached on error his first time up. First pitch to her. That's a up high, 1-0. Reached on error. 1-0 to count. Tie game at 1. Brant's at third. Garland's at first. The 1-0 pitch. There's a strike call, and the count is 1-1. 1-1 to count. Sun's starting to peek through the clouds there. 2-1 to count. Of course, yesterday we had a lot of rain there. Really probably within the last couple of days or so, we've probably seen a lot of rain coming in. Mostly around the southeast part of Missouri, around the Keith Girardeau area. 2-1 pitch. 3-1 now. And I think according to what Micah Stevens said last night on Channel 8, I think they had around 4 inches on the ground there. 3 balls and a strike. Slaps that one foul right over the head of Pat Reardon. 3-2 the count. Three and two the count. 3-2 pitch. Ball 4 now. Now the bases are loaded full of Eagles. And still 1 out for Elizabeth Palumbo. She struck out her first time up. Now it looks like one of the assistant coaches will go out there just to go over the scouting reports on Elizabeth Palumbo. That's Jenna Schwartzhoff. While we'll go out there, hopefully in a few moments, we'll give you an update on the NHL game. As you know, Alex Ovechkin has tied Wayne Gretzky. 894. He had a couple of goals on Friday night against the Chicago Blackhawks there. Of course, I got to watch that game there. It was fun down in Washington, D.C. Of course, Wayne Gretzky along with the commissioner, Gary Bettman, who I want to say hi to. Gary, I hope you're doing well there. He was fun to watch. I grew up watching him. That's how I became a hockey fan. He was fun to watch on television. I grew up watching him. Bases loaded full of Eagles. First pitch to Palumbo. That's a strike call. 0-1 now. Last I heard, it was 2-0 with 18:50 to go in the second period there. Check. 0-1 to count. That's a ball. 1-1 now. Actually, and I want to say congratulations to Alex Ovechkin. He has set the scoring record. 895 there. And a strike call is 1-2 there. Go ahead then. Yes, please. So congratulations to Alex Ovechkin, becoming the all-time goal scorer, surpassing Wayne Gretzky. Fly ball hit well to left. That should be deep enough for Brant. She's tagging up, and she scores the go-ahead run there on a sac fly to left. And a 2-1 lead. Everyone else moves a base there. So for Palumbo, her 38th of the year. So congratulations to Alex Ovechkin. Here's Madison Roberts, who popped out his first time up. First pitch. Strike call, 0-1 now. I think did that in the second period there. course, the Islanders lead the Capitals 3-1 now. That's 3:55 to go in the second period here. 1-1 pitch. Hits a fly ball to center field. Hits it well. Center fielder has the room to make the catch. For the third out. That's Central Methodist. Gets 2 runs on 2 hits. No errors, and they leave 2. And we head to the top of the third inning. A 2-1 lead for Central Methodist. In Unionville, New York there. So congratulations to Alex Govetskin and there as well as Megan Forsman, the batter there. 313 hitter, no homers, 17 RBIs. 1 ball, no strikes. From San Jose, California, home of the San Jose Sharks. 2-0 to count. Reno, of course, he was past Wayne Gretzky, did that back in March of 1994 against the Vancouver Canucks. And I remember that one. That was the day before spring break my freshman year at Central Methodist. There's a strike, 3-1 now. And then before Wayne Gretzky, Gordie Howe did that back in 1980. 3-1 pitch. Strike 2. And I think at that time, Gordie Howe played 30 years in the NHL. Ball 4 now. There's Ryan Cooper up there. 243 hitter, homer and 10 RBIs from Andale, Kansas. First pitch. Ball 1 there. One and 0 to count the 1-0. 2-0 to count. Two and 0 to count. Two and 0 to count. 3-0 to count. 3-0 the count. 3-0 pitch. Takes it all the way. 3-1 now. Three balls and a strike to Ryan Cooper. 3-1 pitch. Foul ball. Yeah, you could barely hear the bat tip the ball there. 3-2 the count. Benedictine 22-13 on the year. Central Methodist 25-5. Conference 9-1 for Central Methodist, 8-2 for Benedictine. 3-2 pitch. Fouls it off. Boy, you could just barely hear it from the press box. 3-2 to count. Three balls and two strikes. 3-2 pitch. Pops it foul. 3-2. 3-2 pitch. Ball four now. Now first and second. Nobody out. And here is Alina Valina who popped out to Elizabeth Palumbo her first time up. Darrow checks her wristband. Gets the pitch. Ball one now. You wonder if there may be some activity taking place in the Central Methodist bullpen. 1-0 the count. Nobody out. 2-1 lead for Central Methodist. Swing and a miss. Strike one. 1-1 the count here. One pitch. 2-1 to count. Chloe Strickland is on deck. Two-one pitch. Fouls it off. 2-2. Yulene Vandalay is the batter. 2-2 the count. Swing and a miss. Strike three. They throw down a second, but good job of knocking the ball down from preventing Forsman to head to third. So one out now. Here's Chloe Strickland. She popped out to Madison Roberts. Now Pat Reardon wants to talk it over there. With a 2-1 lead for Central Methodist, top of the third inning. Of course, the big news just happened a few moments ago. Alex Ovechkin becomes the NHL's all-time leading scorer with .895. That came in that second period against the New York Islanders. There as well, down in the Long Island area of New York. So congratulations to him, and I know Gary Bettman and Wayne Gretzky, and I think a few other contingencies there as well. I think Gordie Howe is in attendance, Patrick Waugh, Mike Bossy, Brian Trottier, Dennis Potvin. Lines a shot, and that is the center fielder Jolly's there for out number two. And here's Ryan Martin hit a home run his first time over the center field wall. That gave Benedictine a 1-0 lead, but then Central Methodist scored two more in the second. First pitch. Fouls it off. Strike one there. 0-1 to count. On one now. It's a high fly ball in the right center field. I think Jolly is there. Makes the catch! Boy, it's like Tommy Agee back in Game 3 of the 1969 World Series. That was when he took a base hit away from Paul Blair. So no runs, no hits, no errors, and 2 left on. We enter the third inning. A 2-1 lead for Central Methodist. Against the Chicago White Sox. Did it on NBC television. There's Maddie Holly. Walked. And then Tuesday, 51 years ago, Hank Aaron became baseball's all-time home run king. Did it against the Los Angeles Dodgers. First pitch, a swing and a miss, strike one. Amazing enough about that game, which back in 1974, the on-deck hitter was Dusty Baker. 0-1 the count. 0-1 pitch. There's a strike going to. Amazing that the first baseman that night for the Dodgers was Steve Garvey. He was the first baseman the night when Pete Rose became baseball's all-time hit king back in 1985. 0-2 pitch. 1-2 the count. One and two the count. 1-2 pitch. Did she go? Let's see what the umpire says. No, she held up in time. 2-2 to count. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Maddie Holly. Two and two, yeah. 2-2 pitch. Little pop up there, and that's out of play. It is 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. So 1 out now. Here's Casey Jolly. She flew out to left field her first time up. First pitch to Jolly. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. 0-1 to count. 0-1 to count. 0-1 pitch. Inside corner. 0-2 now. 0-2 on Casey Jolly with Lauren Hill on deck. 0-2 pitch. Ooh, outside. 1-2. 1-2. 1-2 to count. 1-2 pitch. Little fly ball in the center field. Well hit. Left fielder's there to make the catch. And there's out number 2. Here's Lauren Hill up there. She doubled and scored the first run for Central Methodist. First pitch to Lauren Hill. Ball one. One and 0 to count. 2 outs in the bottom of the third. The 1-0 pitch. There's a strike, and the count is 1-1. 1-1 to count on Lauren Hill. 1-1 pitch. Little cue shot. I think the third baseman calls for out number 3. 1, 2, 3 inning goes Central Methodist. We are through 3. Central Methodist 2, Benedictine 1 on the Heart America Conference Game of the Week. On a hit and error for Benedictine. Of course, 13 days from now, it's the Stanley Cup playoffs. The NHL's hockey's greatest championship goes at it there. I believe the first game scheduled is 4:30 p.m. on TNT television. ESPN, ABC, ESPN2, ESPN Plus, TNT, TBS are your true TV, your exclusive home to the Stanley Cup. First pitch is a pop-up there for a Fisher who grounded out the Pika. This time on the first pitch, she pops out the Pika for out number 1 there. Alma Garcia up there. She flew out to Casey Jolly. The first pitch. Ball 1. 1-0 to count on Casey Jolly. Renee Myers is on deck. The 1-0 pitch. Fouls it off. 1-1 now. One and 1 to count. Top of the fourth inning. 2-1 lead for Central Methodist. Here's the pitch. Outside. 2-1. 2-1 to count. Two-one pitch. It's a high pop up there. Colombo gives a chase, but it's over the dugout, over the clubhouse, and into the Central Methodist bullpen there. Of course, this coming Thursday is the first round action of the Masters Golf Championships from Augusta, Georgia. Event like no other. 2-2 pitch. Hits the ground ball to Roberts. Goes over to Palumbo in time. And there's 2 quick outs there. And here is Renee Myers, who grounded out to Maddie Hawley. First pitch. Ball 1 there, 1-0. The 1-0 pitch. There's a strike, 1-1 now. Riley Kennedy's on deck. Whitton Norris here from the Cox Softball Complex, shivering with its concrete foundations. 1-1 pitch. It's a high fly ball to left field. And he makes the catch. As Mel Allen used to say on This Week in Baseball, how about that? A 1-2-3 inning goes Benedictine. We're halfway home. 2-1 lead for Central Methodist. Central Methodist, 1 run, 1 hit, and error for Benedictine. Pat Reardon coaches over to the third base spot. That's Kalina Oots at first. And there's Rachel Brandt. Brandt drew a walk and scored the second run in that second inning there. That came on a sac fly by Elizabeth Palumbo. The first pitch to Brandt. Hits a little grounder, knocks it down by the pitcher, has time, throw the first, and just got her. 1 out there. And here's Sammy Pico, who had a sac bunt there. That moved the runners, Hild and Brandt. First pitch. Ball 1, 1-0 to count. Bottom of the fourth inning, 2-1 lead for Central Methodist. The 1-0. There's a strike, 1-1 now. 1-1 to count. One pitch. There's a strike call. 1-2 now on Sammy Pica. P-I-C-H-A. 1-2 pitch. 2-2. 2-2 the count. 2-2 pitch. Ground ball to the shortstop. Throws over the first. Not in time. Good hustle there by Pica. And a hit there. That's her third hit of the game. So now Daly Garland up there. She's single. That went underneath the glove of the first baseman. That tied the game at 1. And Central Methodist took the lead there. After that went Elizabeth Palumbo, hit a sac fly to left. And the first pitch to Garland. There's a strike call. 0-1 now. Garland's a senior. Should be one of those probably recognized along with Lauren Hill. And Cassidy Brent. The 0-1. Ball. That's probably in about 13 days or so. Most of them are just mostly freshmen and sophomores on the roster there. 1-1 pitch. It's a high fly ball in the right center field. Well hit, and it's off the top of the wall. Pica's rounding for third. Garland will stop at second, and it's a double there. So second and third now. And here one out for Joey Kreider. Kreider 0 for 1 with a walk in the second inning. Base hit can bring you two. Infield is in the corner. Hits the ground ball, just gets by the shortstop. Garland will score. Everybody moves a base there. And a 3-1 lead there. As Pika scores, Garland hits for third. An RBI for Kreider gives her a total of 30 and a 3-1 lead there for Elizabeth Palumbo. 0 for 1 with a sac fly to left. Now Coach Reardon wants to go over the strategy. Palumbo has 9 home runs. 2 of them came in one game against Mid-American Nazarene, which happened to be on Sue Hermon's birthday. That's Kayla Richardson. Central Methodist ranked number 6 in the polls, I do believe. Palumbo with first and third now, trying to see if they can add to this 3-1 lead with 1 out. And the pitch to her. Hits the ground ball, knocks it down, and in the left, in the right field for a base hit. Garland will score, and it's 4-1. And Palumbo with 2 RBIs there. Now has 39, makes it 4-1 Central Methodist. And there's still 1 out for Madison Roberts. 0 for 2 on the day. Popped the short, and then flew out to center field. First pitch. And it's a ball. 1-0 now. One and 0 to count. The 1-0 pitch. Fouls it to the screen. It's a good thing there was a screen there, because otherwise, if Harry Carey, who used to the Cubs, he used to have his net, and he would catch foul balls in his net. 1-1 to count. 1-1 pitch. Fouls it there, and you hear the ball tipped and went into the glove, and the count is 1-2. 2 big runs there with a 4-1 lead there. 1-2 on Madison Roberts. 1-2 pitch. Fouls it off there. 1-2 to count. One and 2 to count. 1-2 pitch. There's a foul ball there. 1-2. One and 2 to count. Up high. 2-2 now. Two pitch. Slaps it to left field. There's a base hit. And now the bases are loaded full of Eagles. And as Joe Garagiola used to say, that is called putting the ball in play. And here is Maddie Holly, 0 for 1 with a walk in the first. Aces loaded, 1 out. Infield is in. And the first pitch. Fouls it to the screen. 0-1. 0-1 to count. 0-1 pitch. Hits the ground ball. They'll go home for the out, and that's all they can get. So 2 outs. Everyone moves a base. A fielder's choice. Here's Casey Jolly, 0 for 2 with 2 flyouts to left field. Four to 1 lead now. Bases loaded, full of Eagles. First pitch. And it's a ball outside. On deck is Lauren Hill. 1-0 to count. The 1-0. It's a line shot in the left field. Left fielder goes back. Makes the catch. Oh, baby. What a catch. Boy, tracks down left field like Carl Yastrzemski used to do that a lot with the Boston Red Sox. So 2 runs on 5 hits, no errors. 3 left on. We head to the 5th inning. 4-1 lead for Central Methodist. A hit and error for Benedictine. As Riley Kennedy up there. She struck out her first time up. Central Methodist trying to go for win number 26 on the year, but most important number, 10-1 in the conference. And the first pitch. Rise the bunt. Beautiful bunt there. And that is a bunt single there. Just like the great Maury Wills used to do that a lot with the Dodgers. He was a master getting the bunt singles. Here is Megan Forsman, Drew Walker first time up. And I'm sure Maury Wills is smiling down from heaven. First pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. 0-1 to count. The 0-1 pitch. A swing and a miss. Strike 2. With Ryan Cooper on deck. 1 ball, no balls, and 2 strikes. The 0-2. Little number, and it's a fair ball. Just hit the line there. And head to third is Riley Kennedy. And now the runner will try to score, and not in time. On a single there. So it's a base hit, a single, RBI, and Forsman has 18 RBIs, and it's a 4-2 ball game. So Ryan Cooper drew a walker first time up. So now it's 4-2 now. Still nobody out in the 5th inning. First pitch. Tries the bunt. Ball 1 there. One to know to count. Bureau trying to keep it where it is. A 4-2 ball game. The 1-0. Punts in the air. Oh, couldn't get to it. What a good effort there. 1-1 to count there. 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. 1-2. Snap throw to first. And back goes Megan Forsman. Game 2, the foul will probably be about a 20-minute break or so. 1-2. 1-2. Popped it up. I think Roberts is calling for it. She does. And there's out number 1. Keeps the double play in check. Here is Alina Volana. 0 for 2 on the day. Valea. Alina Valea. 0 for 2. 4-2 lead now. First pitch. Lines it right to Robert. Oh, baby, what a play. Patrol shortstop like Dave Concepcion used to do that for the Cincinnati Reds. And there's 2 outs. There's Chloe Strickland, 0 for 2 on the day. First pitch. Fouls that one off. Strike 1 there. Oh, and 1 to count. Cusha, what a play! What a play by Manny Holly. Boy, it's like Brooks Robinson taking a base hit away from Johnny Bench in the 1970 World Series. No runs. 1 run on 2 hits. No errors and 1 left. We head to the 5th. 4-2 lead for Central Methodist. Four runs, 7 hits, no errors for Central Methodist. 2 runs, 3 hits, and an error for Benedictine. Here's Lauren Hill, 1 for 2 with a double. Oh, yeah. It's a high pop up there. Foul ball, strike 1. 0-1 to count. 0-1 now on Lauren Hill. Hill the batter. 26 RBIs, 3 home runs. California, Missouri. The 0-1 now. There's a strike, and the count is 0-2 now with Rachel Brand on third. Oh-2 pitch. Lines a shot, and the left fielder is there for out number 1. So 1 out now for Rachel Brandt, who is 0 for 1 with a walk. First pitch. Inside, 1-0 now. 1 ball, no strikes. Sammy Pika on deck. 1-0. 2 balls and no strikes. Two and 0 to count. 2-0 pitch. Cues it foul. 2-1. Two and 1 to count. 2-1 pitch. 3-1 now. 3 balls and a strike. 3-1 pitch. Cue shot in the right field. Oh, what a catch! That's like Ron Swoboda taking a base hit away from Brooks Robinson in Game 4 of the 1969 World Series. And 2 outs now for Sammy Pica. 1 for 1 with a single. First pitch. Ball 1 there. 1-0 to count. One and 0 to count. The 1-0. Little cue shot. There's a base hit there. Throw the first. Not in time. So that's the 8th hit of the game for Central Methodist. Here's Daly Garland. 2 for 2. A single, double, and an RBI. Now it looks like a courtesy, and it looks like that's Michaela Albert. First pitch. Ball 1. One 0 pitch. It's inside. 2-0 now. Two balls and no strikes. 2-0 pitch. Inside. 3-0 now with Joey Kreider on deck. 4-2 lead for Central Methodist. 44,410. The Higher American Conference Game of the Week. Millions are watching on television. There's a strike. 3-1 now. Three and 1 to count. 3-1 pitch. There's a strike call. Alberts takes second. So now it's went from 3-0 to 3-2. A base hit could score Michaela Albert. 3-2 the count. 3-2. Little cue shot to third for the third out. So no runs on one hit, no errors, and they leave one. We head to the 6th inning. Central Methodist 4, Benedictine 2. here is Ryan Martin, 1 for 2 with a home run. And RBI, that came in the first inning. That gave Benedictine a 1-0 lead, but then Central Methodist scored 2 in the second inning on the RBI single by Garland. Then Elizabeth Palumbo gave him the lead with the sac fly. Then 2 more in the fourth inning there. On the single by Joey Kreider. And then Elizabeth Palumbo, second RBI, creases the 4-1. A fly ball, that's out of play. I believe that's Michaela Albert out in right field there. Then Benedictine added a run on the RBI single by Megan Forsman. Garland moves over to second. The 0-1 now. It's the ground ball. There's a base hit there. So I'm thinking Albert's going to hit in the number 8 spot where Pico was. There's Kaylin Fisher, 0 for 2, grounded out to second, and then popped the second. So time runs at the plate. First pitch. Little cue shot. Garland couldn't get to it. Oh, good effort there. So now it's first and second, nobody out. On back-to-back hits. Looks like Paul Hunt wants to get a substitute in there. And that looks like that is, 32. That is Abby Reynolds is the courtesy runner, pinch running for Kaylin Fisher. So now first and second, nobody out. And the batter is Alma Garcia, who is 0 for 2, flew out to Casey Jolly in center and grounded out to Madison Roberts. You wonder if Central Methodist could do like what the Colorado Rockies did last night against the Oakland A's. Turn to triple play. I know it can happen in softball, but you don't see that very often in softball there. The best way to turn a triple play is the 5-4 free variety. Step on third, throw the second, throw the first. They're all trying to go first pitch. There's a strike call, 0-1 now. One to count, the 0-1. Little pop up there. Hill calls for it. And there's out number 1. That's a big out right there. No question about it. Because one thing about it keeps the double play in line. You keep the runners at the bases. There's Renee Myers, 0 for 2. Grounded out to Maddie Holly in the second. Flew out to Rachel Brandt. So 1 out. And the pitch. Hits a high fly ball to center field. Jolly is there. And there's out number 2. So 2 quick outs now. And here's Riley Kennedy. 1 for 2 at the single. First pitch to her. Outside, ball 1 now. 1-0 to count. The 1-0. Now the fake throw, and it's 2-0 to count. Two balls and no strikes. Megan Forsman on deck. 2-0 pitch. Fouls it to the screen. 2-1 there. Two and 1 to count. 2-1 pitch. Outside, 3-1. So 3-1 now on Riley Kennedy. Three-one pitch. Strike. 3-2 now. 3-2 now. Runners will go after the pitch. Three-two. Lines it over the third baseman's head. There's a base hit. Coming in to score is Martin. And it's a 4-3 ball game. So it's a single. RBI takes second on the throw home. And it's a 4-3 ball game now. Here's Megan Forsman, 1-for-1 with a single and an RBI. First pitch. That's a bit high. 1-0 now. 4-3 now. The 1-0. Fouls it off. 1-1 now. One and one to count. The 1-1. Fouls it off. 1-2. Fisher's at third. Second base is Kennedy on the single, but went to second on the throw. The 1-2. Fouls it off. Still 1-2. Couple new softballs into play. The 1-2. Did she go? Yes, she did. Yes, she did go. So 1 run on 3 hits, no errors, and they leave 2. We head to the 6th inning. A 4-3 lead for Central Methodist. Here. 1 for 2 with a single and an RBI. First pitch to her. There's a strike call. 0-1 now. As Cox Softball Complex shivering with its concrete foundations. Palumbo on deck. The 0-1. Up high, 1-1 now. Trying to keep it word, trying to add to this 4-3 ball game. Of course, the big one came with 12:34 to go in the second period when Alex Ovechkin became the NHL's all-time leading goal scorer with .895 against the New York Islanders. Fly ball in the center field. Center fielders there for out number 1 there. And here's Elizabeth Palumbo, 1 for 2 with a single and 2 RBIs, giving her a total of 39. Leads the team in RBIs there. Also leads the team with 9 home runs. First pitch to her. Ball one there. Madison Roberts on deck. 1-0 to count. The 1-0. Outside, 2-0. Pitch. Now it's 3-0 to count. 3 balls and no strikes there on Elizabeth Palumbo. Where's the number 23? Like Don Mattingly used to do that a lot. 3-0 pitch. Ball 4. So a 1-out walk. Here's a Madison Roberts. 1 for 3 with the single. So now looks like a courtesy runner. That is Chelsea Gleba from Battle High School. So first pitch to Roberts. Ball. Maddie Holly on deck. The 1-0. Lines a shot. Fouled. 1-1 now. 1 ball, 1 strike. Game 2 to follow. One pitch. That's outside. 2-1. Two balls and 1 strike. 2-1 pitch. 3-1 to count. Three and one to count. Gleba is the courtesy runner. Three and one pitch. Chops it. Foul. 3-2 now. Three and two now on Madison Roberts. 3-2 to count. 3-2. It's a high fly ball in the center field. Center fielder has some room and makes the catch for out number 2. And here's Maddie Holly, 0 for 2 on today with a walk. Gleba's at first. First pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. 0-1 now. 0-1 now. Inside 1-1 on deck is Casey Jolly. One ball, 1 strike. 1-1 pitch. Fouls it off. 1-2. One and 2 to count. 1-2 pitch. Cue shot foul just over the screen. One and two to count. 1-2 pitch. Hits a little cue shot to the shortstop. And makes it for the third out. So no runs on no hits, no errors. And they leave one. We head to the seventh inning. Central Methodist 4, Benedictine 3 on the Heart Conference Network Game of the Week. Cooper up there 0 for 1 with a walk. So 4 runs, 8 hits, no errors for Central Methodist. 3 runs, 6 hits, and an error for Benedictine. So Central Methodist, 3 more outs for win number 26. But most important number, 10-1 in the conference. Still trying to maintain that lead over Grandview. These two teams will play next Sunday. Doubleheader at 1 o'clock. First pitch to her. There's a strike, 0-1 now. Also that same weekend, of course, baseball opens a 4-game series with Missouri Valley. Pre-game show, 12:45, 1 o'clock there. 0-1 to count. The 0-1. Lays down the bunt, foul ball, strike 2. On to the count. Oh, 2 pitch. 1 and 2. 1 and 2 the count. One ball, 2 strikes. 1-2 pitch. 2 and 2. Alina Villar on deck. Two pitch. Pops that one foul just to increase the tension. 3 and 2. 2 and 2 to count. Two and 2 to count. 2-2 pitch. Fouls it off. Still 2 and 2. Two pitch. Low liner. That is a base hit. So the tying runs at first now. And here's Alina Valina up there. 0 for 3 on the day. Looks like Cassie Brent will be the new pitcher coming out there from Nostrum, Missouri. I want to say hi to her dad, Thomas. So Cassie Brent, 5-1, 3.94 ERA. with 9 walks and 7 strikeouts. So 6 innings for Veronica Deeruff. She is responsible for that runner at first. And of course, from Knob Notch, I remember Knob Notch, home of the Whiteman Air Force Base. I remember going there along with several people from the Junior High Student Council that joined us with us. I think I can remember several. Diana Venable, I think Terry Harris, I think Jackie Desmond, I think several others. I think there was just, I remember it was a wonderful time there. It was a lot of fun. We got to see got to go inside some of the planes that was out there inside. Got to see the cockpits and everything else there as well. It's a quite an experience there going to Whiteman Air Force Base there as well. It was a fun day. So Cooper is there with a single. Seven hits now for Benedictine. The tying runs at first. First pitch. There's a strike call. 0-1 now. Could go for the save there. No balls and 1 strike. Top of the 7th inning. 4-3 lead for Central Methodist. Cooper's at first on the single to left. The 0-1. Outside, 1-1 now. Chloe Strickland is on deck. 1-1 to count. 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. One, two. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. That's a big out there. And here's Chloe Strickland, 0 for 3. The first pitch is a ball, 1-0. The 1-0 pitch is a fly ball to left field, and making the catch is Brandt. Rachel Brandt is there for out number 2, and it's up to Ryan Martin. 2 for 3 with a homer and an RBI. First pitch. Ball 1 there. One to count. Cooper's at first with 2 outs. The 1-0. 2-0 to count. Kaylin Fisher's on deck. Brent trying to go for the save there. 2-0. Hits a little chopper. Roberts, throw to first. Not in time. And now the go-ahead runs at first. And now it's up to Kaylin Fisher. 1 for 3 with a single. Good effort there by Roberts, but couldn't get the out. So now first and second, 2 outs. First pitch. Ball 1 there. 1-0 the count. The 1-0. 2-0 the count. Two and 0 the count on Kalen Fisher. One more out to go. 2-0 pitch. It's the ground ball to Roberts. They'll go to second. They got her. And that's the winner, folks. And the final score is Central Methodist 4 and Benedictine 3. So no runs on 2 hits, no errors, and they leave 2. Central Methodist with the victory, with a 4-3 victory. They are now 26 and 5, 10 and 1 in the conference there. Benedictine 23 and 14 and 8 and 3. So the final line totals 3 runs, 8 hits, and an error for Benedictine, 4 runs, 8 hits, and no errors for Central Methodist. We will have game 2 for you in about 20 minutes or so. Quentin Norris, say so. We'll see you in a bit then.